welcome to our new segment, KRON 4's Legal Week in Review with San Francisco attorney Rob Cartwright. We've invited Rob to lend his legal expertise to some of the headlines today. Rob is a local legal expert. He won't tell you this, but award-winning local legal expert and former president of Consumer Attorneys of California. Welcome, Rob.
Thank you, John.
What's happening in the legal headlines this week?
Well, there's been a number of interesting stories, one of which is a San Francisco police officer has been named in a lawsuit where he is alleged to have beaten a man because the man was taking cell phone video and photographs of him during an arrest. Allegedly, several other officers then joined in beating this man for several minutes, and apparently at this point a settlement with the city is in the works.
Cell phones have been a mixed bag for some police.
Well, they sure have. You can recall the BART officer who pulled out what he thought was his taser, and instead it was his revolver. In this instance, this particular officer has been previously in trouble on a YouTube video, which was widely disseminated, where he threatened to break a skateboarder's arm like a twig.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oregon has an interesting case I see you brought in for us.
Yeah, well, the High Court in Oregon has ruled that employers can legally terminate an employee for using marijuana even where they have a prescription, because they've held that federal law preempts state law in that regard.
And does that have an application here in California?
Well, interestingly, many people don't know this, but it does, and we've had that rule for quite a while.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, an employer can terminate you if you're using marijuana on the job, even where you have a prescription. That's been our rule for a while.
Wow. For those stories and other related stories, and if you want to just join that conversation, you can join Rob Cartwright online at cartwrightlaw.com. Thanks for coming in today, Rob.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week for another edition of KRON 4's Legal Week in Review with Cartwright Law.
This segment is sponsored by Cartwright Law.